What's up, all my fight fans? So, over this past weekend, Manny Pacquiao had himself a little exhibition fight over, I believe it was in Korea, and he had it against, I want to say his first name was DK. His last name was Yo. Forgive me if I'm getting that wrong, but Manny Pacquiao just came back, and he had recently fought. No, well, not recently, but he fought back in 2021 of August. I guess Ugas, I believe it was, and we know he lost. He lost a split decision, I believe. And yeah, just Ugas was just way too big for him and way too strong. Pretty much, he was able to pretty much manhandle Manny Pacquiao just a little bit more, and it took it. It was a lot more difficult for Manny Pacquiao to get off on Ugas in that fight. So, but nonetheless, he decided to retire, but then he comes back. And this past weekend on Saturday, he went to Korea and had a exhibition fight with DK. And you could tell right away that Manny Pacquiao was just having fun with it. He wasn't in there to take it super serious. It wasn't like a super like crazy, because this was Manny Pacquiao looked kind of big. We're not used to seeing Manny Pacquiao look a little bit on the thicker side. Manny Pacquiao looked pretty thick. He didn't look like he was like he looked like he was in shape, but he didn't look like he was in serious boxing shape. He won unanimous decision. I don't think necessarily he went in there to really try to hurt the guy. He went in there to land a few good shots. Probably got a few, dropped him a few times, but still, yeah, I just, you can't really put too much thought into that fight if you looked at it. It was an exhibition. I really feel like Manny Pacquiao just did it because, it was a good cause. It was to help some people overseas, I believe. I can't remember too much of the details. But nonetheless, still in the interviews in the preceding that, Manny Pacquiao had mentioned that he does want to fight, and he mentioned three names. One name he actually really mentioned was Floyd Mayweather. Now that is, of course, good God. I mean, I really don't see these guys ever fighting again. I really don't. He even mentioned himself that he is Floyd Mayweather's worst nightmare, somewhere to that or Floyd Mayweather is afraid, something to that knowledge, something to that extent. But it's just look how long it took. We remember that whole chaotic. I came up around that time frame of just looking at it over and over again from 2009 and 2009 to 2015. I can tell you every single step of the way of what happened, what negotiation, who fought who did what, who said this, who said that. It was just a back and forth negotiation that led to one hell of a disappointing fight. One hell of a disappointing fight for both fighters, because we believe that Manny Pacquiao was actually hurt in that fight, apparently to him. And he did have backup proof to show it that he actually was hurt. He had some shoulder injury, but still, nonetheless, I think just overall, it was just a very, very high disappointment. And the fact that we didn't even get a rematch, even that much more shows it. Because in Floyd Mayweather's contract, he still had, I believe, 2 more fights. So that we could have possibly had ourselves a trilogy. Why not? Those are your 2 highest big paydays, but we didn't even get that. So that actually taking place where we got Manny Pacquiao, who is 43, and we got Floyd Mayweather, who is 45. Does any of us even really want to see it? Now, will we see it is the 2 different options. Do we want to see it? Probably not. Will we see it? Absolutely, because all of us are fight fans. We love fighting. And of course, when you mention about Floyd Mayweather and we mention Manny Pacquiao, yeah, it's definitely up there. We definitely would probably tune in. Will it make as much money as the first one? Hell no. Probably not even half. Just due to the fact of the age, due to the fact of the experience. Really, see Floyd Mayweather, he's doing his thing. Floyd Mayweather is doing his own exhibition battles overseas as well. It's unfortunate for him because he's continuing to fight some people that we don't even know, just like Manny Pacquiao did at the same token. Floyd Mayweather did fight Conor McGregor in an exhibition bout, or you consider that a real fight, and he fought Logan Paul. Still, nonetheless, I would prefer these guys fighting different opponents in the sense like we actually know. Like Conor McGregor was actually good, and I could see Floyd Mayweather fighting another exhibition bout against another UFC fighter or possibly older veteran, whatever the case may be. Maybe even an exhibition bout with Manny Pacquiao. Will it be what we want it to be? Probably not, but still. Do I see that fight happening? No. But he did mention other 2 names. He mentioned Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Now, he was actually scheduled to fight Terrence Crawford before Ugas, I believe. But I think that's when Terrence Crawford, unfortunately, was in the accident, or he got hurt, or no, he wasn't in the accident. He got in an accident way before then. But I believe he had something with his eyes. There was something wrong with his eyes, and that it could have been possibly could have been blind, if I'm correct. Could be a little bit off there, but yeah, I believe there was some kind of injury that stopped him, that prevented him to go in there against Manny Pacquiao. So there's still a potential fight. I know multiple sources have said that he had been scheduled, or not scheduled, but in negotiation with Terrence Crawford multiple times, because they were both under Bob Arum at that time, and I guess negotiations continue to fall through, or not sure exactly what transpired within all that. So not 100% sure, but those fights I could definitely see it being made. Do we want to see him go against a much older, we got Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Do we want to see them go against these guys? Again, not necessarily do, but at the same token, will I see it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, here's another thing. Manny Pacquiao is still a very dangerous opponent. He may not, we remember that Ugas fight. It's not like he got dominated. We remember the De La Hoyas. We remember some of these older veterans that go in there and try to go for longer periods of time, and they just get dominated, like just get shut out, and they can't even do it no more. Manny Pacquiao can still do it. Manny Pacquiao can still go against some of the very best. Like we saw what he was able to do to Keith Thurman. Then he went in there against Adrian Broner, and then he went against some other these other opponents. Like he could still, he could still use his speed. His speed is still there. His footwork is still there. His power may not be there quite as much, and he may be just a little bit slower, sure. Maybe, just a little bit. But he could still cause some damage. Now, it's like, why risk that? Because what if he does beat Crawford? Or what if he does beat Spence? Then we got these rising stars who just got beat by this older veteran. What do we do then? So that's a tough challenge, and a tough task, and a tough thing that we have to go down, and tough road we got to go down. But if they just so happen to beat him, which is again no easy task to fulfill, you could possibly have another potential rising star, because Manny Pacquiao is a star. Manny Pacquiao is a pay-per-view star as well. Manny Pacquiao will bring you a lot of attention, and that's something that I always felt Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford needed. They needed that. They needed a Floyd Mayweather and a Manny Pacquiao to help them extend the next level. That's something they didn't have. That's a real reason why we don't have a high-level star in the welterweight class, or somewhere around that level, because they didn't go against another star. If you think about it, go back in the past, who did Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao win against? They went against Oscar De La Hoya, who was the star. These guys, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, yeah, they were rising young stars in their own right, and they were doing some good things. But at the end of the day, they weren't, making those pay-per-view numbers, not until they went against De La Hoya. And then they started facing other stars as they made their way up, sure. But they still needed somebody who was in that spotlight to help them get into that spotlight as well. Because unfortunately for Errol and unfortunately for Terrence, they're not really necessarily big mainstream stars. You go up to some boxing fans, outside of the hardcores, not a lot of people are really going to know who they are. Everybody knows Manny Pacquiao. People know De La Hoya. People know Floyd Mayweather. People know like a Canelo. They know them, and look at Canelo, same thing. Who did he fight? He fought Floyd Mayweather. Even though he lost, but it helped him. It helped put his name in the mainstream, and that's something that these guys all really, really needed. Now, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence try to be in the pay-per-view brand, and yeah, I think Errol Spence may have fought more challengers and tougher talent in pay-per-view, like a Sean Porter, a Danny Garcia, and I think even a Ugas, but still not a lot of people were really paying too much attention, because again, who did they fight? These guys were known, but they're not super well known. So I feel like Manny Pacquiao could actually help elevate some of these guys, help put them in that mainstream that they needed. That's something I really wish Floyd Mayweather would have done before he left his career, is possibly help the next generation go up the next level, just like De La Hoya did. He did in a way he did with Canelo, he did with Canelo because Canelo helped to get to that next level. But we still needed somebody in welterweight. And Manny Pacquiao was lined up for both of these guys, but unfortunately they fell through. So, but nonetheless, guys, what do you think about Manny Pacquiao? Do you think he should stay retired? Do you think he should possibly go against Terrence Crawford? Do you think he should possibly go against Errol Spence? Or do you think that this fight with Floyd Mayweather is surprisingly going to happen? Let me know in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.